So I just pre-ordered the Nintendo Switch 2. It looks like a fantastic system to own, and I know it will almost sell out immediately because it's the Switch 2. And all the games, oh my god, the games, all of these games coming out on launch, it's like a dream come true. These long-awaited games are so cool because we never thought we would get the 3D Donkey Kong game that got cancelled, or a Kirby Air Riders remake, or technically Bloodborne 2. But all of this falls apart at the seams when you realize and think to yourself, this is all going to come to a cost, isn't it? And lo and behold, it was a price. A price so big that I don't think anyone would want a Switch 2 after this announcement. And that is its price point. Now, I get that games are hard to make. I get that they're not the most affordable to the naked eye. But this is just stupid. $450 for a console that may actually be pretty good. But that's not the point, okay? And the games are going for $90, that is amazingly stupid. I don't know anyone who would be willing to pay that much money. But yet again, you could always have it worse. For those who don't know, I live in Australia. And since the Australian dollar never rises, we are left with the dumbest prices I've ever seen in my whole life. And be prepared, they're not good. So what are we left with? Well, we're left with prices like this. I don't know what demon thought this was a good price point, but it's clearly not, and no one is okay with it. Also, I may add that this is all from the same company and the same website, because we are at the mercy of one of the most overpriced gaming companies I've ever seen. Let me introduce you to EB Games, our version of GameStop. Now, for those of you who don't know, EB Games is basically just like GameStop, as I just said. Basically, just selling games, cool things, and now we also have another version called Zing, which is essentially just for pop culture instead of actual video games. But I kid you not when I say this, their whole business motto is jacking up the prices of every single thing that they have in their stores because you know that no one is going to understand what on earth Xbox Game Pass is. Yes, I entirely stole that bit off of Diamond Bolt. Shush. Now time to get to the topic of today's video. So, you may think that $450 for the Nintendo Switch is bad. Take a look at what we have to deal with. It's like, what do I even say? I don't even think there is anything to say. It's just, this is absurd. And if you think that's it, you are wrong because alone, the Joy-Cons together are worth $140. The case for it is $40 and the charging brick, the licensed charging brick is $45. I could literally buy a charging brick literally anywhere and it would be more cheaper. I don't know how on earth they thought this was a good idea, but it's clearly not. It's clearly one of their worst ideas they've ever had yet, and I refuse to pay this much money. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is just me overreacting, boo hoo, it sucks, I know, but definitely this is just some games because they're first party. No! This is almost every single one of the games on their storefront. This is literally every single one of their prices, and I've had to deal with it for so long. As long as I've lived, I've needed to deal with these prices. I swear, I am so livid over this that I have so much to say about this one company. Now, I understand some of you would be going, oh, well, aren't you being a little bit selfish? We have to deal with really bad prices too. You're just the line of it because you have low expenses and everything is so expensive over there. And I'm not saying that it's not hard for you, but I'm saying that it's way harder for us who's living here because of the prices that we have to deal with. And if you think other stores, like remote locations, are better, no, they're not. They deal with the same prices that EB Games has to deal with. We are in hell right now. There's like only one store in Australia, or technically the UK as well, where I would actually say, you know what, I would buy games from here. And that's none other than Sex, or as I like to call it, Kex, because I do not want dirty looks whenever I'm talking about going to a store. Basically, it's an exchange store where you get money for trading in your old games or technology for cash. And basically, I would just buy everything from there. But unfortunately, on pre orders and things that you know is going to go away really quickly, you have to buy it from the actual sourced people who are your main sellers. For my case, EB Games. So we also have JB Hi Fi, but they're not any different. And most importantly, they do kind of do a bit better, but EB Games is possibly the outlooker in the whole group because you know absolutely that every single one of these game stores are going to be trying to replicate EB Games. And because of US imports and taxes, we have to pay almost double the amount, even triple the amount that normally US would need to pay. This is the worst. I think that you get it now. I think that you understand where I'm coming from. Yes, it's not good up in wherever you're living right now, but at the same time, we still have it worse. I don't really know what else to say other than we live in hell. And if there were one thing that I wanted to say to the people at like the government and something, I don't know why I'm getting political, but at the same time, please, we need to raise the money and we need to have lower living costs. Thank you very much. So, like, comment, subscribe, I don't care. I'm gonna need to take a nap, and I will be making a video on the Nintendo Switch 2 when I get my hands on it. Cheers, have a good night.